Tinkercad added a brand new tape measure. I'm here to tell you about it, so let's get cracking. This is Tinkercad.com. It is the absolute easiest place to learn computer-aided design. It is 100% web-based, and you can simply sign in and use it for free. All of our designs are stored to the cloud. You can choose to make them private. You can also make them public or use a super cool shared link. Today we're going to start from scratch and simply hit create new 3D design. I like to start by naming my projects. Let's click right over here and I'm going to call this one tape measure. Now, if this is your first time seeing Tinkercad, I've got a ton of day one tutorials. You can check this bit.ly right here to find my full playlist. I have a ton of awesome tutorials that'll show you how to take these shapes, bring them out, add them, and make fantastic projects. You can drop them on top of each other, all sorts of techniques you can use. There is a cool ruler that you can put in place. Notice we set this one down, and then it gives us dimensions when we click on it. But people have always asked, and I'm going to dismiss this, how to measure from corner to corner. Friends, the tape measures here. When you click, you can move to a face or a corner, and then you can move to the edge, point, or face on this shape. Now, of course, a cone is hard to find that way, but we can determine from here to here is 52.5 millimeters. We can do this with all of our shapes. You can simply click the tape measure. Notice if we hover over it, the shortcut is I. So think of it as information. When I hit that shortcut, I'm going to click on this point, and let's say I want to know how far it is to that point. Bang, 66.41. Of course, as soon as you click and move, it goes away, but you can always get back to it by hitting I and snapping them wherever you want. Notice it also measures vertical distances. Right now I am orbiting by right-clicking with my mouse, and we can see that distance, which I don't know why we would need it, but it is 71.4. So right there, my friends, we have finally got a tape measure. Note it does not replace the ruler or the align tool. These are still going to be handy. Super cool for things like this where I can click on it, change that distance to 0. This one already was snapped, and then I can switch this to be 0 as well. When you press enter, these snap into the correct location. So the ruler tool is still useful, but we've also got the tape measure for other uses. I think we're all going to find that hitting I is the coolest way to get to it. Notice we can measure from face to face. When you click away, that goes away. Of course, you can always dismiss the ruler by simply clicking the X. Let me quickly highlight also the sweet code block shapes. Note when we bring these out, they are adjustable. They have parameters where you can simply slide it and make the part do different things. I've got several tutorials that show you how to modify these, and then check this out. Under your creations, I have actually made a few of these where it actually draws a jet that now I can scale, and then every time I click it, it also makes new colors. Super fun. You can bring them out and reuse them. I've also taken time to make a house that does walls. If we look underneath, you can see right now it's size 2 walls. If I click this, bang, they're instantly size 3. You can adjust these parameters and make fantastic projects. It's a really sweet skill. Of course, make sure you check them out, including the awesome evenly spaced circle. You can adjust the height, the number of holes, the hole radius, and the gap between them to make cool projects that you might have a use for. All totally made with Tinkercad code blocks and then brought into Tinkercad so that we can modify them. Click, adjust, and bang, custom parts. How cool is that? Before I sign off, I do want to mention this is the HLModTech Digital Library. You can get there using the bit.ly right here, or you can track it down via my website, HLModTech. I have tried to take my more than 5,000 videos and break them down into levels so that it's easier for you to learn whatever you're trying to do with Tinkercad or many of the other things that I teach. Note level 1 starts with the beginner lessons, the basic skills, and then right here I'm putting in the updates. This is a great place to check for what's new. Of course, you can also check the Reach Me and Docs, tons of playlists, and of course, you can always reach out. using my YouTube community and this link right here. I'm always looking for feedback to see what you guys want to learn next. Of course, if you're ever checking it out, this is a clue that I was updating it. And right now, if you visit and check out the printable shortcuts, of course, one of the cool things is it includes the sketch shortcuts, and bang, just added the brand new tape measure. So wrapping up quickly, of course, if you've watched the channel at all, I always try and be clear and concise. I is the shortcut. Click where you want to start measuring and where you want it to end. Of course, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments of what you think of the new feature. It reminds me a ton of what I use when I'm working with Bamboo Slicer. Of course, I think we're going to still need the combination of a line, the ruler, and the new tape measure to really get the results that we want. Of course, please also let me know what you think of the new Smart Shapes, and if you haven't seen all those videos, check the links up above. I do want to quickly say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Please make sure you also pay attention for those members-only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. It is a fantastic free messaging area. You can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.